Welcome to Mission Evolution Radio Show with Gwilda Wiyaka, bringing together today's leading experts to uncover ever-deepening spiritual truths and the latest scientific developments in support of the evolution of humankind. For more information on Mission Evolution Radio with Gwilda Wiyaka, visit www.missionevolution.org. And now, here's the host of Mission Evolution, Miss Gwilda Wiyaka.
Welcome to Mission Evolution, where we explore the evolution of consciousness through the experience of life. I'm your host, Gwilda Wiyaka. In a world filled with mysteries, from UFOs and hauntings to spiritual awakenings and scientific breakthroughs, one voice has guided millions through the fog of speculation and into the realm of discovery. That voice belongs to Rob McConnell, veteran broadcaster, investigative journalist, and host of the internationally syndicated the X radio TV show. As founder and CEO of REL-MAR McConnell Media Company and publisher of the X Chronicles Newspaper, Rob has spent over 3 decades interviewing scientists, skeptics, mystics, and experiencers from every walk of life. His work has connected audiences across more than 170 countries, exploring the thin line where science meets spirit and where fact often outstrips fiction. Today, we'll delve into Rob's incredible journey, the evolution of human curiosity, and what his years of investigative broadcasting reveal about the changing nature of truth, belief, and the search for meaning in our modern world. Rob, thank you so much for joining us on Mission Evolution.
Always a great pleasure, Gwilda. How are things today in Rocky Mountain, Colorado?
Well, it's sunny and beautiful. I can't complain.
Wow. Over here in St. Catharines right now, it's 25 degrees, and it looks like it's going to start snowing soon. So,
Oh, burr, and that's, I take it that's Fahrenheit, yes?
Yeah, that is Fahrenheit.
Burr. So, Rob, you've spent decades exploring the mysteries of our world on the X radio TV show. What prompted your journey into the unexplained?
It goes back a way long time ago. My parents moved to a place in Chambéry, Laval, which is the northern island, just off the main island of Montreal. And they always loved to get us as close to a school as possible. Well, this time here, they really did it. They got us right across the street from the school, and we lived at the top floor of a duplex. My mom being European, we had to be in bed at a very early time because she believed early to bed, early to rise. Now, this was even during summer vacations, so we had to take it with a little grain of salt. This was during the school year. My brother and I were in our bedroom, and we had a big bay window in our bedroom that overlooked the school playground, where all our buddies were out playing baseball, and we were supposed to be in bed, but we were upstairs just watching them play baseball. And then all of a sudden it got very quiet. You know how when kids are playing, you can hear them talking and chattering, and you can hear the sound of cars and other vehicles that are rolling around the neighborhood, people chatting in the neighborhood. Well, it got deadly silent. And then from the corner of the right side of the window, going over the schoolyard, was this thing in the sky that was making no sound. It was moving really slow, and it kind of drifted from south to north and then gradually went out of view. Well, we lived on the approach to Dorval Airport, so we were used to seeing, newfangled jets. They were noisy. Turboprops, they were noisy. But this thing was going against the regular air traffic and making no noise. So my brother and I decided that we'd get our dad and tell him what we saw, and we were excited. And Dad went to the phone in the kitchen and pretended to make a telephone call. Remember the old rotary dials?
Yes, I do.
Okay. Well, anyway, there was the rotary dial, and Dad was pretending to call the airport. And he said, "Oh, hello, my sons have seen something strange in the sky. Do you have any idea what it is?" Oh, it is? Okay. So bang, Dad gets off the phone. He said, "Oh, it was a new type of silent airplane." Okay, great, Dad. Looked at my brother and shrugged our shoulders. We went back to bed. The very next day, Not any of the adults were talking about this strange thing in the sky, but every kid in the neighborhood was.
Oh my.
What we saw, no idea, and that started it all.
Particularly when you didn't get any good answers from your dad, right?
Well, he didn't see it, so, we really couldn't blame him for whatever he did. He was just trying to calm down 2 kids that were rather kind of, excited at seeing something in the sky that we just couldn't explain.
Hmm. Before the X Zone, what experiences shaped your curiosity about the paranormal and the unseen forces around us?
Well, the one I just told you was one of the major ones, and then I had always, been curious about what happens after you die. I just never made sense that once you were here and you died, that was the end of it. I did a lot of reading in the Bible and other books pertaining to theology and ghost books, of course. Everybody likes a good ghost story, so I kind of tied that in, and as we progressed in age, I kind of went into it deeper with much more logic. I went diving throughout the Bermuda Triangle. We went all over Canada, the United States, looking for mysteries. And when TV shows like the X Files and Unsolved Mysteries and those other great shows happened, it kind of was the forefront to what happened with the X Zone. Actually, the X Chronicles newspaper came first. And then we transitioned into the radio show because I did the first edition of the X Chronicles newspaper. And I got a call from Brian Wild, a producer at CHML in Hamilton, who said, "Hey, Rob, I've got a deal for you that you can't say no to." And he explained it to me. I was going to be the co-host on the Bill Kelly show for a week talking about the paranormal. Well, that was that. And that's when my radio career started. But as a child, my mom was an actress, and she was on a lot of Canadian produced shows like People in Conflict, It's Your Move, Doctor's Diary, and so on. So I was used to going down to the studios to CFCF and watching my mom work as an actress. But I was more impressed and interested in the television aspect, how they did it, what happened. And this was all in the day of black and white. And so you've got that part where mom was the instrument in getting me interested in television. But then she got a job at CKGM in Montreal as a senior receptionist. And once again, I started going around and learning about radio and how it worked. It was great to see mom at work. Hi, mom. But it was more interesting to go inside and sit in the producer's booth and master control to see how they did it and what they did and how they created the magic that had people listening all over Montreal and Quebec.
The magic of it all, for sure.
Yeah.
With thousands of interviews under your belt,
Mhm.
what do you believe drives humanity's fascination with the unknown?
The unknown. It's that simple. Mysteries we can't solve, things we can't understand. This is what drives us. The ability to try and take as much knowledge that you have and apply it to a question that so many people are asking, and yet nobody's getting the answer. That is what keeps the paranormal alive, is the mysteries of life.
What was your original mission behind REL-MAR McConnell Media Company?
Well, instead of working for different radio stations, for example, we started off at CHSC. From CHSC, we went to CIII. From CIII to CKDX. From CKDX over to CJBK. From CJBK to CKTB. From CKTB to CFBU. And it's there that I say, hey, we don't need to do this. I know how to do everything. So instead of moving around and not having to think of where your next move is going to be and using technology that sometimes was a little bit behind the times, just decided to do it ourselves. And we opened up REL-MAR in 2004, I think. Yeah.
Been that long.
Yeah, it has. And once we got the radio established, we already had the newspaper going since 1993.
Goodness.
And then from radio, we brought it into the TV, and from TV, we combined everything radio, television, and newspaper into the digital age.
Staying on top of it.
Yeah.
What do you think makes the X Zone relevant after all these years?
all the years that we've been doing it. We have credibility. We're the longest running talk radio show late night in Canada. We, I know, like we're around the world now. It's the constant drive. It's being consistent, giving your audience something consistent so that they know when they turn on the radio at a certain time, you're going to be there. When they turn on their TV at a certain time, you're going to be there. When they go to an online service like Tuber, they go to the X Zone channel. They know that new content is going to be there. It's consistency as well as quality, honesty, and integrity.
Well, the paranormal has, how many topics does it have? But even so, after all these years, do you have trouble finding new material?
Never, never. There's something new every day. There's always a mystery to be solved within the paranormal.
How has public perception of the paranormal and spiritual evolution changed since you first went on the air?
Oh, it's changed. It's done a 180-degree turn. There are more believers than there are skeptics. And it's because of all the different media that is out there. And like I said, like the X-Files, Unsolved Mysteries, just to name a couple, that have sparked the interest in people. People no longer have had the experiences and are afraid to talk about them. Now it's common where you can talk about the ghost that visits or the monster that lives under the bed, or the UFO that you saw when you were a child, or possibly even an alien abduction. You can talk about angels. You can talk about whatever you want now because people believe. And I'll tell you something, well, after doing this show for all these years, I know for a fact that everyone has a story that they're willing to share. And all you have to do is listen.
It seems like it's loosened up some then. People's fear of being considered wingnut if they start to share. That seems to have faded some.
I don't think they've loosened up. What I think that they've done is they've gained the ability to be heard because more people are believing. And people are believing because more and more people are coming out and sharing their stories. And people are no longer afraid, like I said, to share their experiences. They no longer feel alienated, or they don't feel as if they've had, something that they just can't explain. And it didn't happen to anybody else. It only happened to them. So they talk about it now. They write about it now. They share the experiences now. They've got conferences all over the world where people get together, talk about their alien abduction, where people get together, talk about their near-death experience. It's the norm. It's not the abnormal anymore.
Do you think that's a good thing?
Definitely. Definitely. No doubt about it. Because the more people that talk about it, the more people that we can ascertain what happened to them. And by using logic as well as multiple databases where we can enter the information to see if there's any correlation between them, we can help work together to solve the mysteries.
Well, Rob, you and I are going to have to take a station break.
All righty.
Rob and I will return very shortly, so don't you go away. This is Mission Evolution, www.missionevolution.org.
When the snow is gently falling, covering the ground, and the laughter of the children is the sweetest sound. There's magic in the air as the evening starts to glow. With our hearts wide open, it's the time we let love show. We gather round the fireplace, sharing tales of old, of Christmases remembered, of warmth against the cold. It's a season of togetherness with hope that won't depart. So let's create a melody that will fill every heart. Let the sleigh bells ring. Hear the On a road outside of town, a car door slammed and drove away. No one else around. A trembling dog stood in the cold. His paws sank in the snow. He looked down that long dark road, not sure where to go.
He thought of laughter children's had, the games they used to play, the firelight, the loving words that seemed so far away.
He wondered what he'd done so wrong to be left there all alone.
I saw it on social media, so it must be true, right? With us this hour discussing media and its impact on truth is Canadian broadcaster Rob McConnell. His website, xzoneradiotv.com. Rob, do you think that the explosion of online media and social platforms has helped or hindered genuine research into the unexplained?
That's a double-edged sword, Gwilda. It depends on where the information is coming from. There are a lot of platforms out there that basically have no guidelines. Anybody can post anything, whether it's the truth, whether it's, hearsay. There's no control. And there are other platforms that are credible, that vet the information, that vet the people who are actually using the platform, that make it credible.
How do you balance skepticism with open-mindedness when you're approaching these extraordinary claims?
By doing vetting, by investigating the claim, investigating the person who's making the claim, checking through our sources as well as our databases to see if anyone else has the same type of claim. If they have, what are the similarities? What are the differences? And how can this help to solve the unsolved mysteries that each and every one of us here try to solve on a daily basis?
Do you find it difficult when you're speaking with someone that's had an experience and yet it's kind of hard to anchor down, so to speak, what their experience was? Do you find it difficult to get it out of them?
You have to listen. This is where the old police officer in me comes to the top. We were trained on how to question people, not interrogate, question, because when you interrogate, people close down. But when you ask questions and treat them like people and not as freaks of nature, you're going to get answers. And everybody, like I said, has a story. They just want you to listen. They want somebody to listen. They want to share this information. And it's very rare that someone will not want to talk about it, because when they call us, they've already made that decision. They want to talk. They want to share the experience. And it usually starts off with them saying, "You're not going to believe this, but..."
So, do you mostly interview lay people that have had experiences, or are there professional people you work with as well?
Oh, professional people, pilots, members of the military, law enforcement, people who work at the United Nations, government officials, people who sell hot dogs on the corner of the street, you name it. We talk to them all, and we treat them all with respect.
So there's quite a few professional people that have had experiences. Does it tend to be in their profession or outside of their profession that you're interviewing them mostly about?
Well, for example, members of the military examples, pilots, UFO sightings, members of the Navy, USO sightings. It all depends on who they are, what they're doing, and when and how they have the experience. Nothing is carved in stone when it comes to where, when, how, and why you have an experience.
Do you find that the people that are in the military or pilots are kind of cautioned against being interviewed about the topics at hand?
Yesteryear, yes, but now, no. People are more forthcoming with the information. Even members of the military, as well as pilots, will share the experiences that they've had, because they too want the truth out there. They too want to know what this is all about. They too want to end any truth embargo that is being put into effect by any government around the world.
Do you think we have less tolerance for that truth embargo?
Give me an example.
I'm just thinking, the public and people in general. It used to be, like you say, the truth embargo. People were cautioned against or recommended that they don't share this
Mhm.
information. And you say now that's changed. So do you think it's because the public is just demanding that we get this information out there?
Well, when I'm talking about a truth embargo, I'm talking about a government truth embargo. I'm not talking about the embargo that may be placed by an employer to somebody who works for them. Um, Years ago, yes, it would have been harder for a pilot to come forward and share the experience that they've had. But now they share them openly. And, we, just like we have access to past radar records, flight information. So we can actually verify what they are saying, what they're seeing, whether it's a commercial aircraft or whether it's a military aircraft.
How much did your police history, your experience as being a police officer,
Mhm.
how much does that play into your vetting and checking people out?
It doesn't take us very long to vet someone. It's the internet. The internet is great for helping vet people. And if I was to, let's say, somebody called up and they wanted to give us information, it would take less than 15 minutes to vet them.
Man, that's really fast.
Yeah. Thanks to the internet and to the programs that are available to us. It is.
So, in your view, are we as a species becoming more spiritually aware or simply more distracted?
Wow. We're becoming more dumber. We're destroying this planet. We're not taking anything serious. You've got a leader of the United States who thinks that climate change is nothing but a big joke. It's not real. And, he should see what's happening up in the Arctic with the glaciers and the icebergs, the ice flows, the animals that are, dying because of the changes in the climate. So it all depends. There are a number of variances that have to be put into the equation, Gwilda. There's no set easy answer.
It is sad what's going on, and you would think in this day and age that
Mhm.
people would be more willing to open their eyes, wouldn't you?
Well, that would be nice. That would really be nice, but it'll take more people. And I must say, the grassroots organizations are doing a fantastic job. For example, in Brazil, they just had a conference there. There were people from the United States as well as a Canadian delegation, but the president of the United States or any of his cabinet just didn't go. They think it's nothing but a bunch of bunk. So,
Well, we wouldn't want it to interfere with the bottom line, would we?
well, it's not a matter of the bottom line. It's a matter of, do you want this planet to live or die? Do you want to be part of sustaining creation or do you want to be part of destroying everyone on this planet? It's a life and death matter now.
What role do you see the media playing in humanity's evolutionary journey towards consciousness?
Getting the truth out there, making sure that John Q. Public has the ability, if they want, to read the truth, to listen to the truth, and to watch the truth. You know, uh, you can't force feed anybody. All you can do is present them the very best facts based on the very best information, based on the credible people and the work that you do. If I want to talk about climate change and you don't believe it, nothing I can say will make you change your mind except showing you the truth.
If the people are even willing to accept it when you show it to them, though.
Exactly.
Yeah,
Exactly.
never underestimate the power of denial, right?
Well, never underestimate the power of the media either, because the media can get the pictures out there, the real pictures out there. Look what happened throughout the United States with the wildfires, and Canada, and like I was talking about, the icebergs, the ice fields. That's undeniable, and it's the media's responsibility to get those stories out. And hopefully, the people who are the naysayers will take a second look and say, "Hey, wait a minute, what did I just see?" Or "What was that he said?" Or "Let me read that article again." That's what we hope to accomplish.
While you focus on the paranormal, how do you manage to fit in the serious stuff that you want people to look at?
Well, we just don't look at the paranormal, Gwilda. Our company is vast and wide, and we carry, the X Zone is just one radio show that we do. We do other shows that concentrate on world events. We have other shows that concentrate on animal life. We have other shows that, focus in on the daily problems that indigenous people are having. We're a multi-layered media company.
That's wonderful. We need more of that.
Yeah.
Rob, after interviewing countless UFO researchers and experiencers,
Mhm.
what do you personally believe is behind the UFO phenomenon?
Well, you had Preston Dennett on your show the other day. I was listening. And Preston brought on several examples, the schoolyard sightings, the drive-in movie sightings, and other examples that I had never heard of. You listen to other researchers, they come up with, the tried and true Roswell, Kenneth Arnold sighting, the Malmstrom Air Force Base missile mystery, and the list goes on. I deal with fact. Now, until I see a piece of a UFO or an extraterrestrial strapped on somebody's car going down the highway, I doubt and I research until I am satisfied by the facts and the evidence presented on the authenticity of any claim when it comes to UFOs. So far, 38 years into this show, I haven't seen it. I haven't heard it. There's a lot of speculation. There's a lot of hearsay evidence. But when it comes to the facts, the same applies to Bigfoot, the Bermuda Triangle, the ancient pyramids, who built them. Even theology is brought into the mix. So it's these mysteries and questions that keep everything, simmering on the fire. And we just hope that one day somebody will have that undeniable piece of physical evidence, or the ETs will land on the lawn of the Canadian government on Parliament Hill, Red Square, or even on top of President Trump's new ballroom.
That would be worth watching there.
Yeah.
With all the um, Photoshop and everything else now, I mean, this AI media and things that we can do to manipulate photographs and material. Do you think we can find reliable evidence at this point?
Oh, definitely. AI leaves quite a few traces that we can follow to differentiate between a legitimate photograph and an AI enhanced photo. That is, it's the same techniques we'd used when AGI first came out to debunk. Well, that's a lousy word, but to debunk some of the photographs that were coming out way back then, as well as the videos. So there is a way of, once again, verifying and doing an analysis to see whether or not that photo or video is legitimate. And like I've said, so far, I have not seen anything that is legitimate.
That's amazing. After all these years and all
Yeah,
the hoopla, nothing legitimate.
that's right.
Well, it's time for us to take another station break. Rob and I will be right back to continue our discussion, so stay right there. This is Mission Evolution, www.missionevolution.org.
The snow was falling hard that night on a road outside of town. A car door slammed and drove away, no one else around. A trembling dog stood in the cold, his paws sank in the snow. He looked down that long, dark road, not sure where to go.
He thought of laughter, children.
From the mountains out in BC to the shores of Newfoundland, lights are glowing through the snow, hearts are open hand in hand. From the prairie's silent winter fields to the streets of Montreal, the spirit of the season brings its magic to us all. It's that special time of year across Canada when the world feels warm and near. Families gather, voices sing of love and hope and cheer. From the northern lights to city streets, the message rings so clear. It's Christmas across Canada, that special time of year.
Is it all in your mind? This is Mission Evolution, missionevolution.org. With us discussing paranormal phenomena is host of the X Zone Radio TV show, Rob McConnell. Rob, are UFOs and other unexplained encounters purely physical events, or do they have consciousness-based components?
Oh, there you go. That's a great question that nobody's been able to answer. There are those who speculate it's physical. There are those who speculate it is spiritual. There are those who claim that they're interdimensional entities. But once again, do you remember that old Wendy's commercial with a little lady that would say, "Where's the beef?"
Yes, I do.
This is my mantra. Where's the beef? Where's the evidence? And it's like, so far, nothing. Do these people bring compelling stories? Yes. Do they bring any facts along with them? No.
Well,
Is
that
this something that is in their own way of seeing something they can't explain? Quite possibly. But this is why people keep on digging and searching for answers. And that's why, even though I have not received and I have not seen any evidence that would prove to me that UFOs are legitimate or that they're real, that they are visiting us, that people actually have alien abduction experiences. That's why I keep doing this show. And people say, "Rob, you sound like such a skeptic. Why do you keep doing your show?" It's because I'm looking for the truth.
Do you find a lot of similarities in the accounts?
There are. And I attribute a lot of this to people reading other encounter stories, other accounts, and applying it to their own experience of whatever it may be in order for them to have credibility with other people of like minds.
If you do all the vetting and everything,
Mhm,
and these people come forth and there's no way to prove what they're saying,
mhm.
do you think they're having real experiences, but just no way of proving them?
I'm not there, so I can't say yes and I can't say no. Everybody has a cell phone now that has a great camera on it. And you would think that with this modern day technology, more and more proof, photographic proof, I don't mean photos that have been digitized and reformatted using AI. I mean legitimate photos. And since the advent of digital photography, UFO photos have declined because they're much easier to detect as frauds now.
Interesting. Again, speaking of Preston, who I had on the show
Mhm.
recently, he said that the UFO visitations have declined. Do you see any evidence of that?
Yes, the reports are certainly declining. There, it seems that people are just not buying all the misinformation that is out there. Bud Hopkins, who was known for his what was he called? What did he call them? Past life regressions or abduction hypnosis, was found out to be a fraud, and it was his own wife that exposed him after he died.
Oh my.
You know, it's and when you have this, and when you have people like Stephen Bassett out there who is talking about disclosure and the truth embargo, that it's going to be this year, it's going to be this year, it's going to be this year, and I've been listening to Steve now for maybe 20 years, and it just hasn't happened yet. And here's something for everybody to consider: with the ability to hack into different computers. And we know the Americans hack into the Chinese hack into the Russians, and the Russians hack into America, and so on and so forth. It's a circle of hacking. If any country wanted to bring down, let's say, the United States of America, in my opinion, all they would have to do is break into a data bank, find the elusive proof that the UFO community is claiming that the government has, but is not releasing. Take it and release it, and let the public know that, hey, you've been lied to all this time. That would cause a slowdown and possibly bring down the established government. It hasn't happened. Do I think that the information is there? No. Do I think that Project MJ12, where a president made a deal with extraterrestrials so that they could abduct people in order to get reversed engineered material? No. Because if we had reversed engineering from an extraterrestrial entity, no matter who they were, why would we need solid rocket fuel? It makes no sense. And you see, I have a little theory that it's the UFO community that's keeping the conspiracy alive. Because if there is no conspiracy, what would happen to the UFOs, ufology, all the symposiums, all the books, all the appearances? It's a money-making proposition that would exist no more.
So you think they're perpetrating lies in order to keep the proposition going?
I believe that there are those within certain organizations yes, definitely.
Have you ever had a personal paranormal experience outside of the ones we shared that left you questioning reality?
Yes. The biggest one is how President Trump got elected again.
Yeah, there's that. There is that.
Well, yes, I had an angel experience. Once again, going back when I was a child, my younger brother's 4 or 5 years younger than I am. And back then, baby food came in little tins. I don't know if you remember them. And my mother fed my brother and at supper time, and my brother got very sick. My parents drove me down to my grandmother's that lived just down the street. Well, they took him to the hospital, and my mother called my grandmother a little later, and it didn't look good for my brother. So my grandmother called all the family together for the support, and my grandmother was the pillar of the family. And during this time, I was a little emotional because my brother, he's sick. We were best friends back then. And I'm in the kitchen, and everybody's in the dining room, which is just off the kitchen. And I was looking towards the pantry. And there was this person that I didn't recognize. And they had a friendly glow around them. And I remember the blue eyes, the beautiful smile. And the impression or the feeling that I got in my heart of hearts was, don't worry, your brother's going to be okay. Don't worry. Just as that message got to me, the phone rang. It was my mother, and my brother had turned the corner and he was going to be okay. To this very day, I believe I saw an angel.
Yeah, that would definitely shake my reality right
Yeah.
there. Yeah. What common thread have you found concerning connecting UFOs, ghosts, and other unexplained phenomenon?
The search for the truth, to solve a mystery, to try and be the person who discovers the smoking gun, the person who finds the cadaver of Bigfoot, the person who can find an alien, whether from a crash or a friendly alien, and present it to the world. Everyone wants to solve the mystery. Everyone wants to be responsible for solving the mystery, and everyone wants the glory for solving the mystery.
Why do you think people are drawn to conspiracy theories or fringe beliefs, even when the evidence is a bit thin?
Why do people believe in UFOs? Why do people believe in ghosts when the evidence is so thin? It's something that I guess a good friend of mine, Clyde Lewis, who was the host of Ground Zero many years ago, we used to do a simulcast. And I asked him off here once, I said, Clyde, why is everything in the United States a conspiracy? He said, Rob, that's because the United States was founded on a conspiracy.
Oh, my.
And that has stayed with me all these years, Gwilda.
Yeah, I would think it did.
But when it comes to a conspiracy, once again, a conspiracy, let's take the JFK assassination. It's a conspiracy because not everybody is convinced of what the Warren Commission said. When we look at the conspiracy of Roswell, there are those who believe that the government is suppressing the information that there are 3 dead aliens somewhere and that the crash retrieval was sent to an airbase in let me see, where is it? Ohio, I believe. The evidence is never there. So if there's no evidence, but you believe in your heart of hearts that it happened, then it has to be a conspiracy that somebody is keeping you away from the evidence, proving that you are right. So that's where the conspiracy aspect comes in.
Rob, how do you think fear plays into our interpretation of paranormal experiences?
I would have to say that is on an individual basis. That not all people are afraid of the paranormal. In fact, there are many people who go out looking for the thrill of having an encounter with the paranormal. So there are those who are thrill seekers. There are those who are hardcore investigators. It all depends on the person. It all depends on their motive. I don't believe that people should scare their children about the ghosts under the bed or the ghost of grandma coming if you're going to be a bad little boy or a bad little girl. Enough with the scare tactics. Let's start talking the truth. If you don't know the answer, just say, I don't know.
Have you noticed the difference between how people approach mystery and spirituality from decades ago versus now?
Not anymore. They seem to be falling in line with each other because the mysteries of ancient times, take the Bible, for example, all the miracles. The Bible's got so many examples of paranormal activity in it that, everybody wants to know about what was Ezekiel's wheel. How did they separate the sea? How come God saved the Israelites but killed the Egyptians? Filled with mysteries. And scholars and biblical scholars have been looking at these mysteries as well. And now they're falling in line with the mysteries that we call the paranormal. In old times, they were called biblical miracles. Today, they're called mysteries.
Well, it's time for another station break. Please stay with us as Rob and I continue to explore the unexplained. This is Mission Evolution, www.missionevolution.org.
From the mountains out in BC to the shores of Newfoundland, lights are glowing through the snow, hearts are open hand in hand. From the prairie's silent winter fields to the streets of Montreal, the spirit of the season brings its magic to us all. It's that special time of year across Canada. The snow falls down, the candles glow. There's peace in hearts the world should know. A stranger smiles, a child believes, and love wraps softly like Christmas Eve. We open doors, we lend a hand. Together we learn to understand. Old friends call and bridges mend. For Christmas turns our hearts again. If every day were Christmas, what a world this would be, where love and hope and kindness flow like lights on every tree. If we could keep this feeling when the season fades away, the world would shine forever bright if Christmas lived each day.
Are these the days of miracles and wonders? This is Mission Evolution, missionevolution.org. We're continuing our discussion with Rob McConnell. Rob, do you think that modern society has lost touch with wonder and curiosity, or is there a bit of a renaissance happening?
Oh, heavens, Gwilda, that's a wonderful question. And excuse me, there's miracles around us each and every day. We have got our noses embedded in electronic tablets, iPhones, the internet, television. We don't look around us anymore. And there's miracles happening everywhere. All you need to do is look. For example, one of the greatest miracles that I know is a smile on a child's face,
Hmm.
a new baby being born, a puppy that is playing, chasing a snowflake, the growth of flowers. There are so many miracles. We have just lost touch with it. And I think that what we have done as a society, or most people have done, is that they've taken the everyday miracles that are there because they're too boring. We have to invent things. Bigfoot, UFOs, alien abductions, because we can, because we've lost our sense, we've lost our way when it comes to being a human as a species. You know, we let color, religion, and other factors get between us when we're all the same on this little blue planet. We just have got to learn to live together and grow, take care of each other. You know, in the Bible it says, "You're your brother's keeper," and you're darn right we are. Whether you're Islamic, whether you're Jewish, whether you're Buddhist, whether you're a Christian, we're all the same. We're all the same. We just have different ways of looking at our religious philosophies. So, yes, in my opinion, Gwilda, we have lost the simplicity of miracles and wonders.
Do you think that's because we've lost our connection with the planet itself? I mean, we spend more time indoors watching fantasy on the screen than we do outside watching a flower bloom.
Well, yes and no. Yes and no. That flower blooming will be there later on that day if you want to go watch that flower bloom. But the destruction of the planet is coming from the industrial complex. Those who want to make money, those who are greedy, those who want to have a war because war makes money. They're the people that I feel very sorry for.
Hmm.
And it's people like yourself, who is a shaman, and other people that I have the pleasure of knowing, who are making the difference, who are, you know, you're out there ringing the alarm bell. Like, hey guys, look what we're doing to this planet. Look what we've done to the climate. Look what we've done to the water. Look what we've done to the prairies by causing the climate control that we're burning down homes. We're causing grief and so on. You know, this is where we have to kind of pull back. All the people who are steadfast with having their phones in their hand or to their ears or watching TV, who cannot live without all these electronic gizmos that we have today. One day we'll learn when there's an EMF that knocks everything out. There's going to be no access to your phones. There's going to be no access to electronic gadgetry. The satellites will not be able to give you a GPS reading. It's going to change. It's happened in the past, and it's going to happen again. This is when we're going to see people who today may think that, oh, what the hell are they talking about? It'll never happen. It will happen. And hopefully, before it does, these people will realize that we're in a real danger, and we're not as infallible as we believe we are. When it comes to the world and the universe, you know, we're less than the size of an ant.
Pretty insignificant in the larger scheme of things.
You got it.
Rob, what can the study of the unexplained teach us about human nature?
We're gullible. The lesson is that it's great to believe. It really is. Here we are in the Christmas season. Everybody believes that, well, let's stick with children because they're so precious. Christmas Eve, throughout the year, you hear, if you're a good little boy, I'm going to tell Santa Claus. If you're a bad little girl, I'm going to tell Santa Claus. And as we get ready and as we progress to the holiday season, we put Christmas tree lights up. We put signs in the store, Merry Christmas, Joyeux Noël. There's Christmas trees that are sold on the corner lots. There's every kind of toy available. Mom and dad have to work extra to make sure that little Jimmy gets his $500 pair of running shoes that he wants. When I was a kid, I think it was about $3 or $4.95 for a pair of running shoes. They were the good old days. And yet, come that time of year, something spiritual happens. Something very magical happens where we all have that, the Christmas spirit comes into each and every one of us, where we look and accept wholeheartedly the paranormal. We accept the fact that Mary had Jesus, the Star of Bethlehem, the miracles that Christ performed. Like these are all miracles, and these are all part of the Christmas spirit. You have angels all over the place. So you tie it all in, and is this society's way of trying to get back to its roots, to its very core beliefs, by tying in what happened years ago to what is happening today? And one of my favorite questions is when I'm out giving a talk is, what would happen if the events that happened on December the 24th, 2000 and some odd years ago, happened today? How would it be reported? Would it be reported? What has changed in the human psyche that something that happened so long ago left such an impression on the world? And yet, if that same incident was to happen today, I don't think it would be reported. So are we going back to our roots? Yeah. I'm sorry?
I said, I think you're probably right.
Yeah.
You've interviewed everyone from scientists to mystics.
Mhm.
Is there one guest or moment that profoundly changed your outlook?
Oh my gosh. Over the years, I don't think there's been one guest that has changed. I've had the pleasure of talking to, let me see, Neil Armstrong, Edgar Mitchell, Eric von Däniken, Dream Denver, John Gilligan's from Gilligan's Island wife, Lee Majors, the $6 Million Man. I've had the opportunity of speaking to Mike Farrell, who played Captain BJ Honeycutt on MASH, and all these people. They're all very concerned about the world. They're very concerned about Mother Nature. They're very concerned about humanity. When it comes to the paranormal, they kind of push back a little bit, but their concern is with reality as I look at it, like what we've been talking about, climate change, the oceans, this is where their concern is, because they love the earth and they love people and they don't want to see it vanish.
Hmm. How does mission evolution, with its focus on spiritual growth and transformation, connect with your own mission through the X Zone?
Well, it's on a mission of its own. Mission evolution is taken from your aspect as a shaman, and you on your show, talk to the guest and do your interviews from that angle. So although we're the same, our shows are much different.
Must have variety, right?
That's what it's all about. Variety with truth.
Mhm. Mm. How do you maintain objectivity when dealing with controversial or emotionally charged topics?
Give me a topic and I'll tell you.
Oh, the president, say for instance.
Well, you don't have to be a genius to figure that one out. Uh, he, like anybody who tries an insurrection on January the 6th, 2021, and who is later elected as president, and who then gives everyone who was responsibly and charged and in jail pardons for that insurrection. And the list goes on. And look what he's doing in international waters. He's a modern day pirate on the high seas, except pirates used to take gold. He takes lives. So you've got to be objective. You just can't say, well, geez, wow, he's taking out the narco terrorists. Well, yeah, you're taking out narco terrorists and you're breaking the law by doing it. So does one justify the other? No.
Rob, we're just about out of time, so I have to ask you, what is your mission?
My mission is very simple: to let people dare to believe and dare to be heard, and allow people to understand that their fact is fiction and other fiction is reality. That's it.
Beautiful, beautiful. Unfortunately, we are out of time. Rob,
Wow.
thank you so much for coming on the show.
Oh, it was a great pleasure. I love listening to your show, Gwilda. Keep the great work up.
Thank you. You too. Our deepest thanks to Rob McConnell, host of the X Zone Radio TV show and CEO of REL-MAR McConnell Media Company, for joining us today on Mission Evolution. To explore Rob's world of investigative broadcasting and multimedia production, including the X Chronicles Newspaper and the X Zone Broadcast Network, visit his official site at xzoneradiotv.com. Rob's life work reminds us that evolution is not our biological or spiritual, it's intellectual. It's found in the courage to ask hard questions, the humility to seek truth, and the wisdom to explore both science and mystery with an open mind and an open heart.
To understand, old friends call and bridges mend. For Christmas turns our hearts again. If every day were Christmas, what a world this would be, where love and hope and kindness flow like lights on every tree. If we could keep this feeling when the season fades away, the world would shine forever bright if Christmas lived each day.